a psychologist who really focuses on actually helping a lot of men.
Yes.
And where I want to start today actually is, why is it that a man can say he loves you, he can actually seem really happy in that relationship, and then turn around and cheat on you?
Weirdly, in my experience, it is true. It's a dichotomy that took me a really long time to understand, because for me, in order to love me, you have to respect me. And cheating involves an element of disrespect that, I'm sure yourself as well, we don't really tolerate.
What are you going to do about it? I'll stop it if you have the attitude, and I can do it today if I want to.
Go on.
I can do it on your wedding day and your birthday.
Okay, well, we'll see. Okay.
I've been in situations where he's been with you in a social setting. He'll call me after.
What do we do when the very people we hire to help are the ones who cause us harm? And where do we go when the egos that stood so tall are now the ones that fall? Welcome back to Justice for All. Sexual scandals, YouTube exposés, and lawsuits galore. It has been quite the season for faux psychologists and internet grifter Sadia Khan. But how did we get here? What happened? What led up to this explosion of scandal and claims of infidelity and cheating and side piecery type of business? Well, she has had quite the rise to internet stardom. Let's dial it back a couple of years. Let's say 2023, when Sadia Khan burst onto the scene, hopping on podcast after podcast and giving little quips and clips and sound bites of mostly relationship information and, let's be honest, a lot of recycled red pill jargon, such as high value man and high value woman. Side note, whenever you hear high value man or high value, just stop and run. I'm just going to say that outright. But where did this all really begin with her? What went down? If you have watched the first video in this series, we unfolded this scandal as it went along with Abba and Preach and John Dorsey Goob on Instagram. And so we know what has transpired here as of late. If you haven't seen that video, go back and check that out. Here, we're going to do something different. We're going to flip it back in time, and we're going to examine some of the claims that have been made, not just recently, but have been steadily building really since the beginning of her internet career. Let's take a look at what people have said and what people have recorded and put online that brought everyone to this place with her.
I think it's time, after a year of my feud with Sadia Khan, in which I got her Instagram taken down for not long enough, apparently, for me to break out the screenshots because I really didn't want to get into it with her because she was legitimately threatening me. But now that she's getting exposed, and finally, I guess my expose was not enough. So she's getting exposed for being the mistress to this billionaire. It seems to be her MO that she will immediately go to telling girls that their man wants her. It is legitimately the most immature thing I've ever seen. Now, I'm not surprised at all because her entire platform is based on male validation.
This next young lady had an entire online feud with Sadia and actually documented much of her verbal atrocities online on TikTok as they were going along. And she even goes back and goes into detail about the feud and the story as it developed and tells what those exchanges actually look like.
Hi guys, so here's some more of Sadie's abuse to me after I questioned her credentials and asked for her psychology credentials. The conversation went on to as soon as I asked her for her credentials, she went on to talk to me about how my boyfriend and I are too broke to go to Dubai and how I'm ugly and how I look trans, etc., etc. She was angry that I have showed her up to be a bully on TikTok and Instagram, assuming that everyone's jealous of her. Calling me trans. Threatening her lawyer, aka her, on email. This actually really scared me. She sent me loads of emails asking me to send my location over and over again. She kept taunting me about my partner, calling him all sorts of names. And I said, "Where's your husband?" And she sent me a picture of the guy who's on my profile with the tattoos, who isn't her husband. So if she is married, she would have been cheating on him with him. Always talking to me about how much money she makes, even though I have absolutely no interest. Telling me I don't have a father, very strange, because I do. Talking to me about how she gets 50k watch for free, again, not interested. How anyone can support this woman after seeing how vile she is, I will have no clue. Taunting me about my lack of subscribers on YouTube, so please go and subscribe to my channel. And then telling me to drop dead.
And we also have Dr. Taylor Burrows, who is actually a doctor, actually a therapist, actually a clinician. And she has been following this Sadia Khan thing for almost since the very beginning and making videos that are pointing out the abuse that she has perpetrated upon other people, especially women. She's also pointed out the negative and just unrealistic takes that she has given in several podcasts, especially in terms of dating and men and just the absolute toxic places that she has gone many times in these conversations. She also goes into detail about why it's important that we call out this behavior, why this behavior is completely unacceptable, and the dangers that it can lead to when too many people, especially with the way that AI is moving along rapidly. The dangers that we can get into when we start turning over this blind faith to grifters and people who are just not who they are claiming to be.
Are you one of those people who's really confused about this whole Sadia Khan thing? I want to break it down to you really quick. My last video was super long, but if you do not believe that she passed herself off as a licensed psychologist, a full-blown licensed psychologist, this is the evidence proving to you that she did. She has put herself on magazine covers, calling herself a psychologist, on lots of podcasts, but it's always a little bit like, was that her fault or was it like the publication that did it? No, here is Sadia Khan in black and white emailing me, for example. So I know it's real because she sent it to me saying, this is my DHA license. The DHA is the Dubai Health Authority. This is the body that regulates and registers, certifies anyone in the behavioral or mental health fields. And she also said, I sent you my psychology license, but guess what she sent me? She didn't send me her psychology license because she doesn't have one. You can look her up in the DHA and prove that she isn't and has never been licensed by the DHA. She even claimed so in that recent podcast by Abba and Preach. But what she did send me was her qualified teacher status certificate, a part of it, and a part of some kind of bachelor's diploma. Those do not qualify for a designation of a licensed psychologist. Far from it. She never got her master's. She never got her PhD. And then she just up and decided to call herself a licensed psychologist and pass herself off as such, posing with fake documents. This is absurd. This is massive con artist behavior, just like Anna Delvey. People are starting to wake up to it, and I'm really glad to hear that. But some of you out there are still defending her and acting naive, and I feel bad for you. But if you are intentionally trying to dig in to the false narrative that she is the victim here, you need to wake up.
If someone is claiming to be a therapist, a psychologist, to have a license, you should be asking for their credentials. And if they cannot show them, then that's a problem. That should put your spidey senses up and alert you that something is not right. So I asked for her credentials. And I said, if you were able to show them to me, I'm happy to apologize, but she does not have credentials. She was not able to produce them. So I'm not apologizing for asking for her credentials, but I'm just giving you the caveat that you should not even apologize, even if she did have credentials, because anyone who has a license is obligated to respond to people's requests to prove that they're actually who they say they are. That is mandated by the health regulatory boards. So to be clear, she has zero experience that she claims to have. And the issue is not that she does not have credentials and she's successful or popular and making lots of money. That's fine. Lots of people do that. The problem is that she claims to be a psychologist, to be a trauma expert, to be a psychotherapist, to be a therapist that has clients, and to have a license from the DHA, and she has none of these things. That is a big problem.
Across social media forums, people have shared examples of her insulting or shaming those who challenge her ideas. Many of these, of course, being females, and many females coming to the aid of others, which is very inspiring. And it takes this new heart that generates a support in women's issues and standing up to women bullies and how this plays out in the coaching environment online. Now, while much of this evidence is anecdotal and unverified, the pattern is consistent. A coach positioning herself as a moral guide, but allegedly resorting to harshness and humiliation or even manipulative tactics when questioned. It's just reprehensible. And at this point, we've seen it happen. We've seen her do this on camera. We've seen the replies that she has on Instagram, on TikTok, and all of these places. And we have enough genuine people that are coming forward and saying, hey, this is not okay. This is abuse. It's emotional. It's mental. It's certainly verbal. And we will not stand for it any longer. And of course, this raises all kinds of questions, especially going into this new realm of artificial intelligence. This raises questions about how do we conduct ourselves when it comes to online coaching and therapy and self-help programs that are really is made up into a multi-billion-dollar business. A business that, yes, I myself am a part of, and try to bring integrity to the best of my ability.
So let's begin. So basically all I had posted was just this video saying that there's this therapist on here who's blaming women for them being mistreated. Literally, I never even said her name, but everyone knew who it was right away. Her very first comment to me is, "I'm sure your husband is my biggest fan, hence why you're such a jealous hater." What? Okay. He was literally in the video talking about her. Then all I said was, if this is your level of maturity, then please stop pretending to help women. And really trying to say my husband wants you, what's wrong with you? And if you must know, he disliked you much more than me. And in response to me saying, if this is your level of maturity, then please stop pretending to help women, she said, I don't care about women. I care about healthy relationships for children's sake. We are not the same. Also, say everything with your chest. Tag me. Have you seen some of these women's videos? And she's saying, say it with your chest. Psychotic. The whole reason I ever said anything about her in the first place, so many people were messaging me, like women, and begging me to expose her. She was basically blaming them for the extreme mistreatment that they were getting from their men, like men being physical with them. And she basically was like, oh, I could see why he did it. That's the level that she was at. But then I would get other screenshots where she was saying to girls, oh, your man wants me, I'm hotter than you, all this stuff. It was so insane that I ignored it even for a few months because I thought there's no possible way. But then I was like, you know what, let me say something about it. The second I say something about it, she proved me right.
So at the end of all of this, we do have to look at this behavior as manipulative, deceptive, and outright dangerous. There's a trust and authority mismatch. If her credentials are exaggerated or completely falsified, clients may be placing deep trust in a false authority. And when the therapeutic process is sensitive, it is precious, it is sacred. And when you are advertising yourself as someone that is credentialed properly and asking someone who is down, sometimes out, maybe at a rock bottom, at their very lowest point in life, people who are cut wide open and vulnerable, and you're asking them, hey, come in, trust me, I've got you, we'll walk through this together. And also, at the same time, I'm going to charge you a lot of money to do so. We run into some issues. High-priced coaching packages, especially when combined with shaky qualifications, can leave people financially vulnerable in a place where they are getting ripped off. The hypocrisy between someone's teachings and this alleged personal behavior, it can not only create confusion, but it's outright betrayal. It lowers people's self-esteem. Her audience doesn't take her seriously, and in fact, many people have been seriously hurt by the words of this individual, especially in the early days. Now it's more widely known, of course, thanks to this scandal, who and how she really is. But a lot of these people in the earlier days, they still thought that she was an actual psychologist, and they were taking that word. Can you imagine? You're at your rock bottom, and you look up to this woman, and she seemingly has these superficial things that are esteemed in our superficial society. She looks a certain way, she speaks a certain way, she commands attention a certain way, seems to have money, financial stability. She's certainly charging enough for it. You have a person that you look up to, and you go in, you're at your bottom, and you just open yourself up mentally, emotionally, spiritually to this person, trusting that they are going to be there to catch you therapeutically, only then to find out that this individual needs to be in therapy far more than maybe you do. In fact, some of her issues are concerning at a criminal level, to be honest.
This is not an apology. This is image rehab. Let's break it down. So Sadia Khan released a statement to her Instagram yesterday in regard to some of the rumors and allegations that have been going around. Sadia Khan opens by love bombing her followers, and there's no accountability that's being taken. There's no remorse, there's no I'm sorry. Instead, she refers to things as false allegations, yet provides no receipts or evidence to the contrary. Now, I want you to pay attention to how she words things. This is strategic. She says things like, I'm fully trained. Well, fully trained doesn't mean fully licensed. She fails to name a single school, license, or governing board. That's direct ambiguity, and real professionals don't hide their credentials. Here's another thing that I thought was really interesting. She talks about her $500 consultation fee. Nobody asked you. This is just to get you off track and to get you thinking about something else. She briefly mentions the married man scandal, but again, it's not laced with an apology. There's no accountability, no ownership, no remorse. And finally, she closes with a victim narrative saying those without purpose can't derail mine. That's manipulation, not maturity. Let's be real here. Sadia is not taking any ownership or accountability. Instead, she's more focused on controlling the narrative. And I can tell you that as a therapist, real healing starts with taking accountability, not branding. I'll leave you with this last and final thought. If the receipts are fake, the advice probably is too.
So lastly, something that we have to look at is this lady rose to internet fame, if you will, very rapidly. We're looking at the span of really 2 years. We can go back to spring of 2023, I believe, is when she really started to make her mark in the online space, when she went on Mike Thurston's podcast. And from there, she just kept gaining notoriety. This is the span of just over 2.5 years that this woman has garnered this much attention, this much popularity, followers, subscribers, levels that people work 10, 15, even more years at getting online and in other areas of business. This gives us pause for concern. How and why did she get to where she is? How did she achieve this level of success in this short amount of time? And what does that say for us, the audience, the people who intake all of the information in the media that is spread across the internet? We're talking about big-time players in that game. Mike Thurston, Chris Williamson of Modern Wisdom. We're talking about Mark over at Soft White Underbelly. Guys and podcasts that have millions of subscribers, and she's getting them right off the bat. Now, I'll leave it to you guys to decide for yourselves how that happened. But what we need to look at here is what it means for us and how to safeguard ourselves as we go into the future. Because I've mentioned a couple of times already, AI, artificial intelligence, we are already in the space, in the time where AI is just rapidly developing, and it's already beginning to become extremely difficult to distinguish between truth and reality and artificiality. And now over the next 2 years, it's absolutely going to explode and take off. And it's really going to be a chore, a task to differentiate online what is real and what is just another scam. So we really have to start doing our due diligence on the people that we look up to, the information that we take in, and especially in wellness spaces, therapeutic spaces, mental health, spirituality. It's an entire flood of people that are working in this field now, which for the most part, that's the field I work in, of course. And for the most part, that's a great thing. We have all of these different voices that are coming through. And some of these voices have pieces of paper on their wall and some of them don't. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that one group of people is better or worse than the others. There are different people that fit different subjects at different times in one's journey. And different coaches or therapists or content creators, if their messages are good, then it's not worth platforming or certainly pedestalizing, but it's worth looking into. Who is this person? What is their background? Where are they coming from? Because with the ability to post anything that is a facade online, which so much of social media is, combining that with the rising integrity issues with artificial intelligence, we're really going to have a revolution in how we, the people, decide to look at these content creators and other figures, including content creators themselves. I take in information. I have to be careful. And there are lots of people I look to who don't have necessary formal training. They have a lot of life experience, and that's okay. That's fine. As long as they're being honest about that, or rather, they're not being dishonest about it. So, as we keep pushing forward, we just have to remember this case with Ms. Khan and do our due diligence, understand who we are, what it is that we want and need out of creators, out of therapeutic practitioners, out of coaches, people in the mental health space, people in the spiritual space, and really start to be discerning on who we let in to our minds, our hearts, our souls, and who maybe needs to live on the outside of that in order for us to all be a healthy and vibrant collective that I think we all want to be. And that, to me, is justice. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'm wishing all of you good health, a good mentality, a nourished soul, and justice for all.
I'll fucking do it. On your wedding day. On your birthday. I can do it today if I want to. What are you going to do about it?
Welcome to the show. Here's what we gon' do. You been be a lawyer, better hit the 1 and 2. Cause they always double down when they caught up in the bluff. Trying to stay alive when they slipping in the mud. Could've made peace, but instead you chose blood. Had to play games, now you did your own luck. Begging for attention, hope you get the lesson. Maybe next time you can edit your perspective. Sadia, I just say those things are cool, but you know they always lose. And you gotta face the truth. Sadia, are you really gonna sue? Or was it just a phase to you? Cause now you're on the docket too.